Hi, everybody. I am thrilled today to be back with my podcast, Chat with Kat. And my podcast is now a mobile podcast, meaning that I'm not actually in a studio. I'm in my office. And I am interviewing today Jean-Philippe Gaston, who is the owner of Area 52 Media Group. He is the president and CEO of Area 52 Media Group, and he is the producer of Chat with Kat. And he's also a dear friend. Hi, John.
Well, hello. How are you doing?
I'm great. I am so happy to see you today. You look like you're in a really cool man cave.
Actually, I'm in my wife and I share a office at home, so you got me at home today. That's
Oh,
that's where we're at.
cool. Cool. I see you like Steely Dan.
I do like Steely Dan.
Yeah.
He's to me, he's always been that group has been really good. And there's actually a story behind that because if you read it, it's actually in Italian.
Oh, yes, it is. It
And
is in
so
Italian. Why is that in Italian?
okay, funny story. My brother-in-law, big Steely Dan fan. I mean,
Mhm.
huge fan, right? And they
Great
had
taste.
taken, so they had taken a trip over to Italy, and they went
Uh-huh.
all around, all Rome, the whole 9 yards. And well, one of the places he was staying, that was a poster up on a wall. You know, remember back in the old days, they would pay the kids like a penny for everyone. They'd go out, slap up some glue, put it on the side of walls and
Sure.
buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he got up there in the middle of the night, took that down, rolled it all up, and he brought it back. So, but
Oh.
when he passed away a couple years ago, he left that for me because he knew I was a big. And actually, I'd worked with the band a long time ago. So, yeah,
What
it's
a wonderful gift.
it was a great
That's
gift.
wonderful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to ask you a few questions
Sure.
since I'm interviewing you today. So I did some research.
Oh no.
What what got you started doing podcasts?
Okay. Well, it's kind of simple.
And I know you don't call them podcasts; you call them TV
Yeah,
shows.
we produce TV shows that we
Yes,
that can act as a podcast, right?
yes.
And so, well, what happened is I was in the TV world. I've been in the TV world for about 45 years, and
Since you were 12.
yeah, exactly. I love you so much. That's why we're friends.
Love you too.
Um, and then back along about 2000, actually 2000, 1999, we started our own production company. Now,
And that was in Florida, right?
yeah,
You were
we
in
were in Florida,
Florida?
and
Okay.
even though I was in the TV world, audio is where I got my start. So I worked with Arista Records. I worked with Universal Records. I was a sweetening engineer and all the kind of other fine stuff. And then decided I wanted to go on the road and became a roadie. And I was an A2, which I worked the back of house sound for the stage. So I got to deal with the artist directly. Um, so we started an audio studio. And then, you know what? My buddy gave me a camera and he goes, "You're just point and shoot and blah, blah, blah." And I got the bug. So
Mhm.
we started a brand new company called Bayou Productions, and we were TV, well, made commercials for television and audio. And then we just morphed over, pretty much went all television because that's what we
Okay.
like. My first word out of my mouth was light as a kid.
Light.
Not mom, not dad, not granny, not grandma, not papa, light. So
Light.
my
Oh,
mother was like, you're gonna have something to do with production. So I did, and that's what it was. So
okay.
that's how we started. We started doing television shows. We were one of the first podcasts, and I have to use the word because if people don't understand it, we were one of the first
Yeah.
1,000 podcasts ever
In the United States or
in the
in the
world.
world?
Yes,
In the
because
world. Oh, wow.
do you know trivia question? Do you know why they call them podcasts?
I'm sitting here wondering that right now. No.
Okay. So
Why do they call
podcasts,
them that?
so iTunes started everything. There was a little bit of a Windows version, but it was so horrible that no one really accounts for it. So iTunes started the whole world of podcasting and TV. There was no YouTube, there was no Facebook, there wasn't anything. It was just
Mhm.
iTunes. Well, when we when uh, Apple and iTunes said, "Oh, hey, wait a minute, video takes up a ton of room. Give us just the audio versions." Well, what did we download the audio to?
To a pod?
iPod,
iPod.
right?
Yes, yes.
So
I remember downloading
iPod,
music on yeah, onto an
right? So
iPod,
your
yeah.
iPod, you had music and you had podcasts. They called them podcasts. So you
Ah,
downloaded.
okay.
So it's a recognition name that has never changed, even though
Mhm.
there's so like there were Zooms and I mean there were all this other stuff that you could watch and listen to it, but the word podcast stuck. And
Stuck.
you
Okay.
know, and so it's like tissues. If I say I need a tissue, what do you go? I'm going to go get Kleenex,
Yes.
right? Or
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
South,
because and that's a brand name
right?
actually, but
So
it's just
so
become
podcasts
commonplace.
podcasts was a brand name for
Yeah.
iTunes, right? But it stuck. It
Huh.
stuck all the way across the board.
Stuck.
So that's what it was. That's how the word podcast came. So anyway, we were first 1,000 podcast ever on iTunes,
Ever.
and ever.
Wow.
I mean, in the world. So it was a show called Moving Forward TV. It was my wife's show. It was about mortgages and whole nine yards, right? So yeah. So that just got us
So do you
started.
remember the moment you realized, okay, this might actually work?
I did. I do.
When was that?
It's another story. All right. So
I want to hear it.
I was in Vegas, and I was there for the big IBEW, not IBW, but the big NAPTY show, and the in Infocom, and Infocom is for my world. So we go there to look at what's new, new technology, new way to do things, and I was walking through the back, and there was this company there called New Tech, and New Tech had this little
Mhm.
box, and this little box was called a TriCaster. Now it was literally,
TriCaster.
it
Okay.
was just literally the size of a shoebox, but maybe a little bit bigger, right? This was in 2002, I think it was. Um, and we were there. I looked at it and I saw this box going, "Oh my God,
Hmm.
I want this box." So they're
You're
like,
like, I want this
"Well,
box. I
yeah,
want this.
I
Okay.
want it. I mean, I literally wanted it that
Yeah.
day." And they're like, "Will you come back with this much money?" And I called my wife and I said, "Hey, I want to invest in a piece of equipment that's going to change our world forever and ever and ever." And she goes, "Well, how much?" And I told her, and she had to sit down, going, "That's a lot of money." I was like, "I know," but anyway, so I went to the guy. She wired me the money because I had cash. The guy wanted cash, so I got
Uh-huh.
certain cash. I
Cash.
literally
Okay.
flew home with that thing in my lap.
Oh, wow.
Right. That's
You were
how
just
much
so
I.
worried and nervous, and it meant that much to
Yeah,
you.
I
Yes.
it was going to change the world. So then
This
I
is a
walked
big
in.
deal.
Yep, and back then we were still by your productions, and then so I walked into the studio, called a big meeting for all my guys, and said, "Hey, look, I'm going to put this down. I want to show you something that's going to change your world." And they're like, "Well, how's it going to change our world?" Well, it's going to change our world because it will be it will be something that will get rid of television. Now, in my world, saying something's going to get rid of television that's a no-no because we're all TV
Mhm.
guys. We don't want television to go away. I said, but we're going to be streaming and watching stuff on our computers, and we'll have fun with the
Mhm.
technology. And everybody looked at me like
Right.
I had three heads, right? So
You were a visionary. You could see
that
what
was
was coming.
I did, and in that one, I jumped all over it. We got back, and we were the first streaming company in the state of Florida. We were
Oh
the
my
third
goodness.
third streaming company in the southeast.
And this was in 2002.
2002, yeah. So by 2005, we were because we were still producing for television, but we were filming with this because what our world has done is we were all used to using big monster cameras, and we'd go out and we 2 or 3 cameras and we'd film all day long, and then come back and ingest all that, and then put it into
Mhm.
our software, and then edit it, and then put it together. I mean, I grew up editing on 2-inch tape. That's how old I am.
Okay.
So computers
Yeah.
weren't a thing back in the day, right? So yeah.
No.
Um,
No.
and so when I and so
Commodore
when I found
64 back in the day. Yeah.
right, exactly. So it really did. It changed our world, and I knew that at that point in time, the whole industry was going to change. And
Mhm.
so I jumped on it. It was 2002, and I think it was September. I think it's when the show was. And so now this is what we do, and I've been doing it. I have the distinct pleasure of saying in the Southeast, the United States, I'm probably one of the OG streamers
Oh my
for yeah,
goodness.
for going to computers. So I mean, it's I've been doing
So
this. Huh?
so now it's
Mhm.
Area 52 Media Group. When did you change from Bayou to Area 52?
Well, okay, so there's another story. Bayou Productions,
Okay.
we got hit in the crash, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So that was that company. We were doing well. I mean, we were seven figures for several years, but we were tied up in the real estate industry. We were doing a ton of
Okay.
radio for them for that world, right? And and this is what taught me to don't put my eggs in one basket. Ever again, I will never do that.
Everything's a learning
Right.
curve. I
So,
mean, a
but I mean,
lesson, you know.
so we had 20 something employees. We were the largest production
Mm.
company in North
So you were
Pinellas.
rocking and rolling, you were
We were
big, you were making a lot
and
of
we were all
money.
over and we were all over the country working for clients that were doing real estate.
Okay.
So anyway, we lost
Yeah.
everything. So
Was
I
that
was able
'08, 2008?
oh 09. And so I was
Oh
out. I
nine.
was
Okay.
the courts were really kind to us. They're like, we're not going to take all your gear because we know you got to eat. So we just started all
Yeah.
over as Tampa Bay Multimedia, and Tampa Bay Multimedia. We did not change a thing other than um, we did not stay in the world of real estate. We still were in the world of real estate, but we didn't stay there. And
Okay.
it really was a very valuable lesson for me, and very lesson,
Mhm.
and plus my wife has been a mortgage person for, oh my God, she's been in that world for 45, 46, 7 years, something like that. And so, yeah.
Okay.
So then we're like, okay, we won't do that again. So then we started Tampa Bay Multimedia, same thing. We sold commercials. Back then we were heavy production, live. We were
Uh-huh.
getting into the live streaming guy. And then I said to my wife one day, I said, I got to stop being like all the other guys, knock on everybody's door going, hey, you need a commercial for TV.
Uh-huh.
I, I and that's what we did. I mean, we'd go to every chamber meeting, every network meeting, every BNI, whatever. And I'd be like,
Mhm.
you need a commercial, you need a commercial, and you need a
Yeah.
commercial, and you need a
We need a
commercial. We all
commercial.
need a
All of you need
commercials.
commercials.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's got to the point where I wanted to stop doing that. So
Okay.
then we said, okay, we have a streaming thing. We have this box that does this for us. TV's
This box,
expensive.
this special
Yeah.
box that you bought.
Special
Yeah.
box, right? And boy, by
Yeah.
the time that rolled around, we had some big special boxes. But
Okay.
and getting on TV is really extremely hard. Um, and it's very
Hmm.
costly. I mean, back in the day, for me to produce one episode of a TV show, 30 minutes, was running about $20,000,
Oh my
and that's
gosh.
on the cheap.
No wonder TV is over.
Yeah,
No
yeah, and then
wonder.
commercials. You want to, if you don't have $200,000 budget for a year to run TV commercials, even today, you're not going to do
Mm.
well. So
Just forget
don't
it.
waste
Yeah.
your money.
So
So
everyone listen, don't waste your money on
don't
commercials.
waste.
Listen to
No, if you no
Gaston.
no
Don't.
if
Yeah.
you've got a good budget, absolutely. If you because
But
today
if
in
you
today's
don't,
world, you need
yeah.
about 200 $500,000 per year,
Okay.
right, to do a
Okay.
really good campaign. And if you
Okay.
got the money, do it because your ROI will be very well. So
Yeah.
so
Okay.
what I did is I was dealing with clients that just really couldn't have that. They just didn't have that kind of money. So I told my
A
wife,
lot
I
of
said,
clients don't.
no,
Small business owners don't have that
exactly. So
typically.
so the internet's coming along, everything's good. Facebook is there, YouTube is now there, iTunes is there, blah 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 blah. It's all there, right? So I said to my wife, I
Mhm.
said, let's do something different and let's start our own TV station. She goes, oh my
Yeah.
God, do you know what the FCC and blah blah blah? I said, oh no 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 no, we're going to do it on the web.
Oh, yeah.
And she went,
Okay.
what? I said, yeah. So my wife
Mhm.
is money, right? She's like, okay, let's figure this out. How are we going to make money doing this?
Yeah. How are we gonna
And
do this? Be
right.
successful.
So before all these Stitchers and podcast platforms out there, there was really only the website, and then there was YouTube, kinda. It hadn't really
Mhm.
gotten there yet, and
Mhm.
so it was getting there, right? So I said, why not make a platform where people can do their own small show, and then we'll
Okay.
put it on our website, and then that way people don't get lost in the fray. You know, like if you tell
Okay.
someone today, "Oh, I have a YouTube channel, go look at it," and you better make sure that your content is so smashingly good that that cat that's over here, and I'm not being sexist, but that cat's over here, the pair of boobies over here, a really nice butt over here, some dude that's hot and
Yeah.
half naked. Because once they hit that, once they go off and start looking at stuff, they never come back.
Yeah.
So we learned how to embed. That's another thing too. We were probably one of the first 50 websites in the United States that put video on their website.
Oh, wow.
Oh
One of
yeah,
the
we
first
were
50.
super ahead of
And
the
what year
time.
was that?
That was
Do you know what
2000. That was actually 2008 because I was doing that for a client already.
2008.
So we had figured
Okay.
it out, and
Okay.
then, back then it was Flash and all this kind of stuff, and or
Sure,
WMVs.
Flash.
It was
Yes, I
such a
remember that in the
weird,
websites and
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, and that doesn't even work now.
uh, and so we had clients that would come in, and these little small clients are going like, well, how do I leverage this? I said, well, here's what's going to make you different. Nobody else is doing it right now. I said, and
Mhm.
it's going to make you the expert. You are going to become the expert in your field, right? So,
Yes.
and that's
Okay.
and people, ooh, that's good. And on top of that, here's the other great thing: when you're trying to meet with a client, and you tell that client, well, this is what we can do for you, and blah 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 blah, right? Well, now you
Mhm.
can send them to a show and have them listen to you talk about what you do. So now,
Aha. Okay.
not only is a sales tool, great sales tool, right? It
Mhm.
is a an employee that shows up not angry, not mad, not having a
Yeah.
bad day, not having an
Right.
attitude. It's just there, and it's an upsell. So anyway, so that's and that. So
Excellent.
we started all that, and then Area 52 came along because I sold Tampa Bay Multimedia and WeBeam TV because that was the name of our station. Did very well there, and started
Uh-huh.
Area 52 TV just for me and my buddies.
Oh, kind of as something fun to do?
Yeah, because that's all I
Yeah.
needed to do. And some of the clients that went with the old company called me back and said, "Hey, we don't like them, blah blah blah. We'd like to come back over to you." And I said, "Well, okay, if you can get past your non compete, because I knew they all signed non compete." Um,
Yeah.
but they did, so I'm like, okay. So yeah,
Now
so
was that
then
in Florida
yeah,
also?
that we
Did
all
you
this has
start
happened in Florida. Tampa
in
Bay was
Florida?
a strong area.
Okay.
At one point in time, Area 52 or WeBeam TV, that was the actual station we had. We were carrying 10 million plus, and that was monthly, not
Oh,
yearly,
wow.
but a monthly, right? So now,
Monthly,
yeah,
10,000,000 viewers,
oh yeah, we had
listeners.
more. Matter of fact, I had got
Wow.
courted several times by Spectrum and who's the other one down there? FiOS. There's another
Mhm,
one down there,
mhm.
and they're all like, "Hi, you used to have a channel." I'm like, "Nope," because the minute I give you a channel, I have to run by FCC rules. Not that we do anything
Mm.
at all that breaks the FCC rules, other than some shows have some language. That's it. That's
Mhm.
all there is.
Oh, wow.
Um, so and I said,
What
"Nope."
were you what were you completely wrong about when you started all of this?
Um,
Was there anything you were completely wrong about?
Formats, some of the formats, putting
Formats?
them wrong, putting them
Okay.
the wrong time of the day. That's I'm a the true reason behind all of our streaming platforms is this. There used to be the ability to go to the local TV station or a set side where it was public television. So
Mhm,
anybody that wanted to have their own television station or a show could go, and it got played on public access. Well, that went away.
mhm. Yeah, that's
That
gone.
dwindled out when you started getting the Spectrums and the FiOS and the
Right.
Charters and all that, and they started doing their like Spectrum TV has their own. Well, they made it very, very, very hard to do all that. So what
Yeah.
I said was, let's give the people their voice back. And
Okay.
but I
So that's
charge.
what you did.
It's not free, right? Yeah. So
Well, no, of course not. I
yeah,
mean,
but
I mean,
there's sometimes I'm like, okay, my worst decisions are giving people a voice that I should have never given a voice to, but
and
it
yet you
does
do, you
happen.
give them a voice. It
I
happens.
was dead on when I was, and I'm not patting my own self in the back, but we were head of the ball game when it came to live streaming. Now everybody and their brother
Mhm.
can do it now, and it's like one of those. Well, I'm streamer. Well, everybody's. It's like back in the day when everybody should write a book, and then everybody wrote a book, right? And then so
Right,
nowadays, if
right,
you go,
right.
I got a book. Well, good for you, you and ten
Like,
other
whatever,
billion people,
yeah,
right? Now, and it used to be, well,
right.
I used to have a TV show online or a podcast. Well, everybody's got a podcast now.
Yes.
It's just,
So there needs to
we
be
just,
something special
right?
about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the hardest part of podcasting that people do not see?
The backside editing.
Yeah, I'll
See,
bet.
so people that try to do it themselves, they'll go out and spend on average 400 or 500 bucks on gear, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll do their own show, and then you can't. There's so many like minute things like um, it's like lip syncs and color corrections, and like I keep looking at my camera and I don't like my camera, but unfortunately I had to do this today. I was going to do it in the studio, but we had something going on in the studio, so I had to do it from home. But
Mhm, mhm.
everything's got to look good. Well, the thing of it is doing it the way I do it, like this show right now. I'm producing for you this show.
Yes,
Well,
yes, and thank you for that, by the way. Thank you so much.
when we're done with the show, we're done. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to go back and edit. These people get into that think they're going to do their own podcast in their homes or whatever. They get into it, and then they film for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, and then they have a week worth of editing, and that's the hard part. It's
Yeah,
the
that's
hard.
the hard part.
Used to be the hard part was getting it on platforms. Today's platforms, getting on platforms
You get it out
is
there.
the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah,
But still doing the production and the production the right way, that has become the issue. Now we're like a full production company, so we have studios. I have
yeah,
studios, in Florida, Georgia, even have one in Tennessee and North Carolina. But
yeah.
and we do a
Heck, you have
ton of
one in your
remote.
home. You're right there.
Right.
I'm looking
Well,
at one of
yeah,
your
yeah,
studios.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I have a monster system. So yeah, anything
yeah.
that my biggest thing about being wrong was it was just giving people voices. I should not have done that.
What's your biggest technical or creative headache?
Wow, that's good. Me, my biggest headache. It's not internally; it's externally. Is getting the
Uh-huh,
people to understand that the old saying of "just do it." Oh, I'll just put
uh-huh.
something up. That's my
Mhm.
headache because
That's your headache,
you
okay.
literally only have one time to make a good impression, and 9 times out of 10 you only got 2 minutes to make that good impression.
Mhm.
I know everybody's
Yep.
like, oh, it's 10 seconds or they're just going to go away. No, everybody gives a little bit more time than that. And we do not have short attention spans. We have long attention spans, or we wouldn't binge watch Netflix and Paramount
Right.
and all the different platforms. We wouldn't binge watch if we had short attention spans. Sometimes we just have crappy content, and that's what happened. So yeah,
Have you ever recorded an episode and decided not to release it?
no,
No.
nope, never.
Okay. You've always released
I
them all.
think I think sometimes we have to put the bad out there with the good. Especially
Mhm.
if you've done well for a long time, then you have a bad one and sometimes those bad ones get you more watch than the good ones.
That's a really great point.
It's like,
Mhm.
the old saying is, even bad publicity is good publicity. Um,
Right? And
you know,
the minute people stop talking about you, it's over.
That's it. That's it.
I mean,
You don't want to. And
right.
again, but yeah, that's why we do what we do is we keep all of our shows on our, that way, good or bad,
So get it
right?
out there. Just
Get it
just
out there.
publish it, get out there.
Yeah.
What makes someone a great podcast guest?
Oh, um, knowledgeable in their field,
Mhm.
energetic, not
Mhm.
afraid to speak. Um, I can take two mechanics, car mechanics, right? And you
Sure.
would think
Mhm.
mechanics, well, what would they do? And I can get one that's super knowledgeable, and then the one that's knowledgeable but super outgoing. I'll take that super
Mhm.
outgoing guy because he'll draw
Yeah,
in, you know. But it just a good podcast guest is someone that's willing to talk about what they do. Is if they know what they're doing, anybody can speak for 30 minutes about what they do.
sure. But if they're outgoing, if they're charismatic,
Outgoing
all
is,
the better.
so my wife gets so upset with me when people will go, well, you can stand up for a networking group and go, oh, well, who are you looking for? What kind of, I look for egos.
Okay.
And everybody has an ego, everybody.
Sure.
And an
Yeah.
ego doesn't mean you're outgoing. It could be inverted. An ego can be inverted. And you can see that
Mhm.
your ego is not an outgoing ego. It's an inverted ego, but you're super
Mm.
technical.
Mhm. So, you've done a lot of podcasts during your career. Is there a conversation that surprised you the most?
Mm. Mm. No, I guess. Well,
No?
we
No?
do a show now about suicide prevention. And
Oh,
some
okay.
of those can actually make you go, "Oh, I would have never thought about that." And
Oh,
human
wow.
trafficking, I did a show about some of those, but nothing
Oh,
surprises me. I mean, there's literally not a industry that
that you
we've
haven't
not interviewed.
touched
No,
or
nope.
interviewed.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And when I tell
So,
you,
who's your dream guest?
um,
I mean, you're my dream
you
guest.
are,
I'll
Kat,
say that right now.
you would be
I'm
my
your
dream
no, I
guest.
am not. Really?
I,
I mean,
I,
if you could interview anybody, dead or alive,
oh, dead or alive?
dead or
Jesus.
alive. Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I
Okay,
should.
and what would you ask him?
Why? Why?
Why? Okay. Yes, and just see
Here's
what he
so,
said.
and again, this is why what makes a good guest. Nobody, this, and people will cringe when I say this. People don't care what you do. They don't. But if they can get behind your why, you'll
Mhm.
have a follower forever. And so that's why I would ask him why.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Okay. I know some people would say, "What's the meaning of life?"
No,
And I know a lot of people say
I don't need that.
42.
See, don't need that. That's the stuff I'm like, nah, I don't. That don't. It doesn't make any sense to me to ask that kind of questions.
Okay, yeah. Well, what's the most unexpected thing a guest has ever said?
There's really nothing out there that kicks me in going, hell,
That
this
was
person said,
unexpected?
no,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
so you
TV world. You expect that kind of stuff.
you
You're like,
expect crazy stuff, yeah.
you have no idea what this person's going to come out of their mouth.
What they're gonna say, what they're gonna do.
And
Mm. Okay, so
it could either go,
we're down to our last 15 seconds
yeah,
here, so I am going to thank you so much for
you're
coming on
welcome.
here and being such an exciting, charismatic guest. And, this is John Philippe Gaston with Area 52 Media Group. I'm Catherine Fry, President, CEO of Mediafy. Thank you, John.
Nope. Thank you. And you will see everybody in a couple weeks.
Yes.
All righty. Bye.
Thank you.